Oh my god, hey YouTube, hey, what's up? My name is Johnny, I'm 31 years old, I'm in the United States Navy. Hey, welcome to my channel. Today it's not going to be League of Legends time. I'm actually going to go over this with a group called DJ's Collectibles shop. That's the shop that I play in. I run the tournaments for it. But in the meantime, we're just going to say hi, my name is Johnny. Hey, what's up everybody? So like, hey, check it out, welcome to my stream. So today it's going to be a little bit different than what I normally do. I normally go into like League of Legends and all that good and fun stuff. But today we're going to go over a little deck list. It's going to be Cardfight Vanguard for today. And then we're just going to see how it goes from there. I'm actually making this little deck list for my guys over in DJ's Collectibles. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the deck list. The deck list today is going to be Neon Messiah. So the Messiah archetype came out a couple years ago. Completely ruined the scene for Star Vader because it focuses on unlocking to gain additional effects, and it was sort of like a rush deck. It counters Chaos really well. It's one of Chaos's worst matchups, so I decided I was going to build it to counter the Chaos deck that we built a long time ago. So today it's going to be Messiahs. So the first card that we're going to do, and it's just going to be a deck list. I'm not going to go into full details of like what it can and can't do, so you guys can look that up yourself. I'm also going to be featuring cards from the new set, the Galaxy Stargate, which expanded upon the Messiah archetype, as well as I think Dimension Police, Chaos, and Nova Grapplers. So here it goes. The first card we're going to take a look at today is, I'm going to start with the grade 3s. The grade 3s starts with this little guy, Wings of Rebirth, Alter Ego, Neo Messiah. So he's the guy that replaced the first Neo Messiah that was in the first trial deck. I run 4 of this one, and I think I'm going to keep it at 4 because his skill is actually really useful. It's actually a Soul Blast instead of a Counter Blast. The second one that I'm using right now, this is currently what I'm running, is the old trial deck. I'm running 2 of the Alter Ego Messiah. That's the old trial deck one. And there's the reprint if you guys want to see the artwork for that. So I'm running 2 of him, and basically what both of these do is you Soul Blast or you Counter Blast one, and then kind of like Chaos, where at the end of the turn, if a card is unlocked, you go ahead and draw a card. Now, the last grade 3 that I have, I run 8 grade 3s by the way. The last grade 3 that I have is an oldie but a goodie, and that's a Freeze Ray Messiah. He's actually not a bad card. So if a card goes into your damage zone, you get to draw a card. It's basically what it is. And he was used at the last Worlds that I was at, and he topped, like, he was top 8. So those are the grade 3s, so I'm going to leave that right there. And with the key card being Alter Ego Neo Messiah. If you get 2 of those trial decks, you're bound to run 4 of those. So Next up is the grade 2s. The first grade 2 I want to touch up upon is the staple. It's Arrestor Messiah. So you're going to need at least 3 of those. I prefer to run them at 4, but I only have 3 right now. And he comes in a double R, and he's a common, I think it is. Yeah, I think he's a common in the trial deck. So he comes in the same trial deck as Alter Ego Neo Messiah, and he comes in 2 of. So you're gonna have to grab a 3rd or a 4th one. So there's that Arrestor Messiah. The next card we're gonna go over came out in Rondo of Chaos and Salvation. Lady Fencer, Matter of Transmission. She's been a really good card to me ever since I ran her at 3. So she's an auto 11k attacker, and she's got a soul charge built into her. Some of the Messiah units at the stride level actually soul blast, so that's actually really cool. And for those of you at DJ's Collectibles Shop, the Facebook group, feel free to comment and post as soon as I post this up. So there's that. The last grade 2 that I run, so I run 3-3-2 for a total of 10 grade 3s or 10 grade 2s, is Lady Battler of the Gravity Well. She's your main beat stick, and I do run 3 of her. Hold on. So you can lock another rearguard unit during your main phase, and it gains plus 4k. So that's already, it's going to trample over a lot of things, especially if you have a 7k beater in the back row, or an 11k beater in the back row, which Messiah can do now. And I run 4 of her. So why would you want to lock your units? Well, we're gonna go over that as soon as we hit the grade 4 stage. But until then, just go over this deck list. So at the grade 1 level, Prayer Child of Steady State Cosmo, that's the new PG. She came out in the Character Booster 06, Rondo of Chaos and Salvation. She's a really easy card to pull if you ever buy boxes of the set. What she does is you can bind her, and then I think it's bind her and something else. Oh yeah, bind her and then lock 2 of your rear guards, and then you can draw a card. She's really cool. So you have her, just bind her, lock 2, and then you're good to go. She doesn't have any recall ability, but she's got a really good ability to set up for your grade 4 Messiahs. The next one I'm going to do is a Stride Fodder. If you guys don't know who Destiny Dealer is, then you guys are way out of the loop. This is the Stride Fodder. So he counts as a grade 3 in hand. So you can stride with him, and then you're good to go. Sweet. Awesome. Cool. Alright, so that's enough of him. So I run 4 and 4, and then the next grade 1 that I've got is a $5 grade 1, and he's actually really good. It's Sacrifice Messiah. Now, he came out way back in BT05, I think it is. GBT05. Yeah. And he's your counter charger, and then he also gives your units plus 3k. He's really good for the extra power. You gotta have him because Messiah likes to counterblast a lot, and you're gonna want to run at least 3 of them. So the next card after that I have is the promo Lady Battle of the White Dwarf. So she's your power. She's your power scaler. You can unlock a card when you boost. So when you attack, you boost with this card, and then the boosted unit gets plus 4k. So that's where that Lady Battler of the Gravity Well comes in. Plus 4k there, plus 4k again. So you've got a 23k unit, and it's kind of hard to block that when you're dealing with a Messiah Vanguard. The last grade 1 is actually one of the new ones from CB06. Globule Dober. Now he's just your simple Soul Blast 1 and Countercharge 1 whenever a unit is unlocked due to the effect of your Vanguard. So I only run 2 of them. Like, you really don't need the hand advantage because I do run draws, but it's always nice to have them. So at the grade 0, so this is your 16 triggers plus your starter, and I do run 16. So the first one's going to be a crit, and it's Paradigm Shift Dragon. Now, hold on. The reason why I'm running this is because there aren't a lot of crits for the Messiah archetype to put back into the deck. This is one of the ways to do that. Like, so if you have standing crits in your hand, then you can just slap this down and stick it on top. You don't have to have a Star Vader Vanguard to do that, but you can't lock a back row unless you have a Star Vader on the Vanguard. Now the purpose of that is you don't want to have hanging crits in your hand if you don't need them. So why not put them back in your deck and hope you trigger a crit? All right, the next crit that I'm going to show you is the expensive one, and it got reprinted in CB06, but it's generally from GBT05. It's Blink Messiah. So with 4 of these, he's your when your Vanguard with Messiah attacks, put this into Soul, it gains 5k, and then draw a card. So I mean, these have been standard crits for the past year and a half or so, and there's been copies of it for every archetype. So very good card. So I run 8 crits there, and then I run 4 draws, and that's the beloved child of surpassing or super string theory. There she is. It's a draw trigger, plus she has the effect of the 3k, just in case you may or may not need it. I'm not sure if I'm going to replace this with the stand trigger that came out in the Galaxy Stargate or not. And then the last thing is I have just regular 4 heals. So that's the deck as it is now. I will go over cards that I am planning to change once I get a hold of the new set. And finally, with the 50 card deck, I do run the old Neon Messiah from the first trial deck. He's just too good. I don't know if I like the other Neon Messiah just as much, but especially with this deck being as it is right now, you want to get that grade 3. If you rode the wrong grade 3, then you want to search for the right one. So especially if you're running like Freezeway Messiah like I am, definitely want that Alter Ego Messiah or Alter Ego Neo. All right, so that concludes the main deck portion. That is 50 cards. I do have them. Oh my god, why do I have these in Bermuda sleeves? I don't know. Let's go ahead and take that away from you. So we're going to go over the grade 4s now. Grade 4s, standard G zone, you can have 16 cards. And there are definitely going to be some changes. I'm going to start with the G guards first. So I do run 5 G guards. And the reason being is because in this day and age, we run 5 G guards to support the G guards that unflip a G guard. That's kind of a thing now. So first one, Genesis Beast Destiny Guardian. You can find him in GBT08. Kind of pricey. It's unlocked too. It gets plus 10k shield. So there's that. That's a good start. The next one is Death Star Vader Demon Maxwell. We really hated this card when it came out because we thought it was going to be a good Star Vader, and it locks your own unit. Star Vader hates that crap. So yeah. But yeah, you lock one of your own units, gets plus 5k. Next one's going to be Genesis Machine Deity Destargin. He's actually pretty cool. So he lets you draw a card if you have 2 or more locked units, and then you Soul Blast 1, and then you draw a card. That's actually pretty cool. So you get that hand advantage, and then you can still guard with that card if it's something that you want to guard with. So maybe that crit trigger that you put back accidentally, maybe. And then last but not least, I do run one darkness that lights up Demise Lacus Karina. She's definitely your staple. Oh, by the way, I do run 2 of Demon Maxwell, so excuse that mess up. But she's your big gun. She's your big G guard. So what she does is she's counterblasting 1, and then you unflip a G guard from your G zone. So I guard a G guard with that, and then I unflip a Demon Maxwell just to activate her effect. You can choose up to 3 of your rear guards and lock them, and then for each rear guard that you lock, your opponent has to lock 1 too. So she adds to the locking. So that's it for the G zone. That's 5, right? Okay, because I did say I messed up, and I do run 2 of the Demon Maxwell. 5 G Guardians, cool. So for the regular strides, real quick, I do run 1 of the new trial deck Messiah, Genesis Dragon Bearing Messiah. He's fun. He's like your first stride. It's an on attack counterblast 1, and then choose a rear guard in the back row and locked it, and then choose another card that's locked and unlock it. So your Neon Messiah or your opponent's back row, and then you unlock one of yours because you're bound to have something locked by then. So he's really good as a first stride. Some people use, I forget what people use for the other first stride, but I actually really like him as a first stride. So the next card that I'm going to go over, 2, is Nebula Dragon Big Crunch. I still run 2 Big Crunches right now because I don't have any of the new cards, and I don't have Excelix. I'll go over Excelix later, but in the meantime, Nebula Dragon Big Crunch is actually a really good card to splash into any Link Joker deck. So it's a Counterblast 1, unflip itself, and then you get to choose a card in a column, and then lock both of them. They're a Mega Lock, so they're locked for 2 turns. Messiah ironically counters this card because, you know, oh, you're gonna lock Mega Lock my row? Well, I'm just gonna use this Messiah and then unlock it. So, but he's still really good against certain archetypes like Royal Paladin or Narukami. He does really well against Shadows. Things like that. So I still run 2 of them. The next 2 cards are as an actual Messiah. You can find this one in Fighters Collection 03. This one is Trans Else Messiah. So he's kind of a filler, I feel, but kind of not. He's actually got a pretty cool effect. Definitely the Counterblast 1, unflip itself. Lock all rear guards fighters. Unlock all of the cards that were not locked by this. So it's a lock and unlock effect. And that kind of helps. It's just it definitely helps with activating your abilities. So there is that. The next one is actually pretty new. It's from the newer set, Rondo of Chaos and Salvation, Genesis Dragon Basaltis Messiah. So it's Counterblast 1. If you have a heart card Messiah, choose a locked card and rear guard in any player's field for each one on your face up in your G zone, and you can lock or unlock of them. If you unlocked 1 or more cards, draw a card. So he adds to your hand advantage, basically. He's not excessively OP, but he's just enough for like an early strider to do some damage in the game. And before we get to the final Messiah that I have, and I should have some more, I'm going to go over the GB8, Genesis Machine Deity Altwilder. Choose one of your opponent's open rear guards for each card in her damage zone, and your opponent chooses a card from his or her hand, and then locks it. So it forces at GB8, it forces at you Counterblast 1, and then discard 2 cards. It forces your opponent to take his hand and lock them depending on if he has open rear guard spots. So this is it's a major counter to things like Pale Moon and Grand Blue, where nothing is ever on the field for you to do stuff with. So there is that. You know, I only run 1 copy of this guy. He's actually pretty cheap. The very last card that I have is 3 of, and that's a Flageolet Messiah. He's a staple. So you either run 3 or 4, and he gains a crit. What else can I say about this guy? He Mega Locks and then gains a crit if 3 or more cards were unlocked with this effect. So you can lock and lock again, like usual Messiah, but he has that added crit. So he's a big end gamer. That's my stride zone right now. So this is Messiah's as it stands today, and I do plan this weekend on grabbing some Stargate, or whenever my taxes come in, grabbing some of those Stargate packs and, you know, upgrading this deck. So here's the deck as it is right now, and then we're going to go over some cards that I'm going to change into once I can get my hands on Galaxy Stargate. So switching out from that, there we go. All right, cool. So here's a list on the wiki for Cardfight. This is G Extra Booster 3, the Galaxy Stargate. There we go. So one of the cards that I'm going to switch out is for something, or add and modify Zeroth Dragon of Destroy Star Stark. When this unit placed on Vanguard, you may pay the cost, Counterblast 2. If you do, until end of turn, it gets drive -2. Cool. This unit does not rest when it attacks, and this unit can attack up to 3 times. So, okay, that's a... So, attack, drive check once, attack, drive check twice, attack, drive check 3. So you still have the triple drive. It's just you're attacking 3 different times with the Vanguard. Not bad at all. Not bad. and then it's still standing when at the end of your turn. So this is one of the cards that I actually want to get. Hopefully I can nab myself one whenever I open up my boxes. The next one I'm going to grab is the Integral Messiah, Genesis Dragon Integral Messiah. He's the new Messiah G4 that came out. Counterblast 1, choose a face card from your G zone, turn it face up. When this unit attacks, you can do that. If you do, unlock all of your locked cards, and if you unlock 3 or more, soul charge 1, draw a card, and it gets plus 10k. He's kind of a replacement for Flageolet, but he really isn't. Where Flageolet gets a crit, he gains 10k. So it really all depends on the kind of pressure that you want to put on your opponent. I'm probably going to get 2 of this and incorporate it. The next add I'm going to do is Ideal Ego Messiah. He's a brand new grade 3 for Messiahs. Now what I'm going to do with this guy is I'm going to replace, I'm either going to replace both the old Messiah, Alter Ego Messiah and Freeze Ray, or I'm just going to replace Freeze Ray and the new Messiah. But I'm really thinking I'm taking out the old Messiah and Freeze Ray, so I'm going to grab 4 of this guy and stick it in. So when he's placed on Vanguard, or if you stride, you can choose a card from your hand and lock it on the field. Okay, that's step 1. So if you do that, draw a card, choose one of your Vanguards, it gets plus 5k. It's actually very similar to the old Chrono Jet for Gears. So I'm gonna grab 4 of him, put that in there. I don't think there was anything else that I was going to put in. There is a couple of Messiah cards from at the rare and common level, but I'm thinking that the grade 2 and below is actually really solid for Messiahs at this point in time. So the last card that I need to get, and it's actually really kind of expensive, is Genesis Dragon XLX Messiah. I don't know why I didn't pick him up when I got this deck. I bought the deck as a whole, and then I had a couple of Basaltics and I stuck that in there. It did a pretty good job. This one is kind of like Flageolet when he gains the crit. So it's Counterblast 1, choose a face down Amnesty Messiah, which is why you run 3 or 1. I do have an Amnesty somewhere, I just don't know where it is. I don't know why I'm not running Amnesty Messiah. Oh, it's probably because I'm running Big Crunch right now. Alright. So you unflip an Amnesty Messiah, and then choose any number of locked cards, unlock them, all of your units unlocked gain plus 3k. Retire all of your opponent's units unlocked with this effect. If the number of units unlocked with this effect at 3 or more gets a crit. So it adds to the pressure. He's really good. And I had the pleasure of fighting against this with my own Chaos deck. Kinda sucked, but yeah, he's that good. That's really all I can say about the Messiah deck. It's a pretty standard deck build for Messiahs right now, but definitely looking into getting those upgrades here come time for the release this weekend. If you guys missed it, the pre-release was this past weekend. Today is February 18th. I don't know if I said that in the very beginning, but that's all for today's stream on YouTube, by the way. Here in a little while, I'm going to go on Twitch and YouTube, stream both at the same time, and I'm going to go into League of Legends. So if you guys actually want to, get a picture of that, go ahead and subscribe. My Twitch link, it should be on my YouTube channel, so go ahead and click that whenever it's time. Give me like a half hour, I'm going to start going, or 15 minutes rather, I'm going to start going into League of Legends ranked. If you guys like this, go ahead and post a comment below or subscribe, but in the meantime, I'll see you all on the Twitch stream for League of Legends. Bye!